This another try. We are, let's see, about 20 minutes into Trump's speech in New Hampshire. We'll give this another shot as soon as I make sure that we are actually broadcasting out there. Let me bring up YouTube. The best place to watch is at youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. If you're out there, say hi. We've had quite a delay so far today with the internet. We're a minute in now, and so far, so good. We have, there we go. Okay, Ruth Ann can see me on YouTube. Dr. Howard, so we are broadcasting on YouTube. Stephanie, you're back. Thank you. Okay, almost. Let me pull myself up here. I figured out what was going on there. So, LOL. Internet shut down. The satellite to my main router that can get the signal out to me it decided it had to do a firmware update. You know, at 4:30 in the afternoon, as one does. So, I think Joanna was first today. I did not rip out the router, but the router decided it was time to do a firmware update right then and there. Now I am hardwired. So I'm running cable across the room here so that we take the Wi-Fi's completely out of the equation. So I hope it does the job. So far, we've been up for 2 minutes and we have dropped 0 frames. So that is very good. We'll make adjustments if we have to. We were watching the DNC video on violence and guns. That's probably what did it. The DNC saw that we were doing that and shut us down. That's what I'm guessing. So I will send a link to that in just a second. Here, I'll do it now while I'm thinking of it. And then we'll get right back to Trump. But I do want you guys, if you haven't seen that, I do want you guys to see that. Let me reload a page here for myself because my internet went completely away. Hi, Allison. Good to see you. You're kind of joining us at the tail end. Give me a second here. Okay. All right. I got a couple of voiceover auditions. That's nice. Okay, let me close this. Here we go. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you the link for the DNC video that I was showing while everything crashed, because I want you guys to be able to see that. Let's see here. It's a Twitter link, so you should be able to watch it on Twitter. I'll send it out in just a second here. There we are. Here it comes. There is the link right there. So you can come back later and get that link or just ask me for it, and I'll put it out there. Oh, welcome to Producer Joanna's friend. Okay, so let's get going again here with President Trump. Third time we're trying this today. The internet does not want us to fact check this, but we're going to do it anyway. Unless the internet shuts down again. In that case, then what are you going to do, right? I mean, I could yell out the window. Here we go.
If that mayor would call and say, please send in the
And we found you. Good to have you here. Welcome.
National Guard, just like hey, we did it in Minneapolis. Remember that? The place was going to burn down another few days. We sent in the National Guard. It was over within
He did not send in the National Guard. The government of Minnesota calls in the National Guard. That's the way it works.
an hour.
It was not over in an hour, but...
And they ought to get smart, and that's what they ought to do. So now they're talking about, well, you know, we want to... You know, they were taught, what do they call it? A friendly protest, right?
No, it's not a friendly peaceful protest. We covered friendly protests earlier, remember?
Remember the idiot from CNN? He's standing there. This is a friendly protest. And behind him, over his shoulders, the entire city is burning down.
The idiot from CNN was Ali Velshi from MSNBC. So, woo! You got him, President Trump. We went through this before. In fact, I can play that. If everything shuts down, so be it. But yeah, I want you guys to see that because not only is it Ali Velshi, first off, he starts by saying, I never forget anything. I remember it perfectly. Then he calls him Ali Velsher. Ali's on TV every day, by the way, and he calls him by the wrong name and then calls him the wrong network Okay, so this is Ali Velshi. Let me pull him up here. I forget what I labeled him as. Velshi or Velsher? Or maybe I didn't. Let's see. What did I call it? I might have called it Velsher. All depends on what I label it. How did I even spell Velsher? Yeah, here he is. This is Trump talking about the same thing a few days ago at one of his rallies. I think this one was Wisconsin, maybe? Wherever it was. Here it comes.
I'll never forget the CNN reporter. He's standing there with his...
I'll never forget the CNN reporter. This volume needs to be pumped up. Hold on. See if I can. That's at 100%, so that's all I've got for you guys, so hopefully you can hear. I'm going to pump up his audio. So he starts by saying, I'll never forget the CNN reporter. It's MSNBC. And he forgets his name.
I'll never forget the CNN reporter. He's standing there with his very nice shaved head. Right now, I wish I had a shaved head. It would be a good instead of the wind. But you know what?
Oh, that volume's just way too quiet, guys. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can hear it.
He's standing there. Velcher, right? Ali Velcher.
Velcher, right? Ali Velcher. No, wrong.
And he's standing there. Things seem quite calm right now.
Things seem quite calm right now. He's making fun of Ali Velcher.
And behind him, they have the entire city. Looks like it's burning down for blocks. He's standing there talking because the fake news doesn't report the truth.
Right now, no government authority, no authority whatsoever has control over this area. The people have control.
So, Trump says, Ali says, things look quite peaceful here. Ali Velshi actually says, right now there is no government authority that has control, with the city burning behind him.
Over this area, and this is what's happening right now. There's a lot of venting going on. There are definitely people who have come up to me. They're not happy about the way this is unfolding. They're not happy about the damage to public property.
They're not happy about the damage to public property.
But boy, the anger, I can't, I mean, your pictures show it, Brian.
The anger, your pictures show it. So, things look quite peaceful here, says Ali Velshi on CNN. He says Velcher, sorry. Says Ali Velcher on CNN. No, it's MSNBC, it's Ali Velshi, and he does not say that things look quite peaceful. So, anyway, he'd never forget that. Okay, back to This Is Live.
67 days from now, we're going to win the great state of New Hampshire. We have to. And we're going to win 4 more years in the White House.
Okay, now did the YouTube chat just stop working on us? Yeah, now the YouTube chat. Why do I even do this? Hey, if you'd like to support me doing this, go to kevinleefather.com. You can become a patron there. That would be great. Because this is... sometimes it's easy. Okay, let's see what I can do. I'm going to bring you guys... so, we're going to go to a 2-chat mode here. The blue will be Twitch and Twitter. And then underneath the blue, give me a second, right here. So, the more active chat room, guys, tends to be YouTube. So, up at the top, the chat is coming out of Twitter and Twitch and Facebook. The down below chat in white that you see there, they do suck. Thank you, Joanna. The new studio is terrible. It's too warm or too cold. There's no in between. I'm very appreciative of the new studio. And then down below, that's the YouTube. So if you want to chat, the best way to do it, if you want to see the most active chat, is to head to youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. youtube.com/KevinLeeFather. I don't know if it's Restream doing that. Well, I think that is Restream doing it, but it could be YouTube not cooperating with. Whatever it is, let's get back to Trump.
Within my first term in office, we've secured America's borders.
America? Where's America? I swear that's what he said.
In my first term in office, we've secured America's borders, brought back our manufacturing jobs, rebuilt the United States military. It was a mess It was a depleted, built the United States borders. Within my first term in office, we've secured America's borders, brought back our manufacturing jobs, rebuilt the United States military. It was a mess. It was a depleted mess. Wiped out the ISIS caliphate, killed our terrorist enemies, kept America out of foolish, stupid, ridiculous foreign wars, achieved American energy independence.
No, we didn't. Hold on, YouTube's coming back.
And you see the price of your gasoline when you go fill it up. Oh boy, that's a nice price.
Nobody's going anywhere.
It's half what it was. And
No.
we built the single greatest economy in the history of the world.
We
And
did
that
not.
includes China, which was having a very, very bad year. And then the plague came in from China. We had to close it up. We saved millions of lives. And now we're opening it and we're setting records. We're setting records. Wait till you see the numbers just before the election. They'll be released. And this is despite the fact that the Democrats are holding back Michigan, North Carolina. You take a look, Pennsylvania. They want to keep them. By the way, on November 4th, regardless, they'll be opening
Whoa.
them up. November
Sorry.
4th.
That was the audio on YouTube's end, not me.
Because they think that hurts the economy.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And that'll hurt me, but our numbers are going to be great. We're going to have a
Sorry, guys, he just got really loud. I hope that didn't hurt your ears. Let me do what I can to adjust that here.
great third quarter. We're going to have an unbelievable next year, unless somebody stupid gets elected and raises your taxes. This November, each of you will vote in truly the most important election in the history of our country. I used to say it about 2016. This is now at a new level. Joe Biden is the puppet of the radical left movement that seeks to obliterate and destroy everything that you hold dear, including your Second Amendment, which will have no chance.
Really, really hard to change an amendment.
Your vote will decide whether we save.
Really, the only way an amendment gets changed is to make a new amendment. And, you know, you can just ask the majority of the population that happen to be women how difficult it is to get an equal rights amendment passed. So, yeah.
The American dream, or whether we allow Biden to eliminate your jobs. And by the way, it's not Biden. It's not Biden.
It's not them. Well, last night you said he was going to go destroy America. Is it not Biden? Who is it then? I need to know. No? What are you saying? Say something.
His masters. They tell him what to do, his masters.
Oh, we're back to that. So in the debate, when he doesn't have an earpiece and nobody can tell him what to do, and he wipes the floor with you in terms of facts, that's how is he getting signals from somewhere? Is it the tinfoil hat?
They want to erase your borders, confiscate your guns, appoint radical left judges and prosecutors, tear down our history, demolish your suburbs. You saw what I did. I ended the rule. You're not going to have low-income housing built in your suburbs anymore. But no.
Low-income housing in suburbs is actually something that you want for a couple of reasons. Number one, you want people making low incomes, not necessarily destitute people, but you want people on the lower end of the pay spectrum, teachers, people working at your local Subway, people working at McDonald's, people working mechanics, etc., etc. You want them living in your neighborhoods because otherwise you end up not having enough of them to work in your local businesses, the businesses that you shop at.
Nobody writes that.
And the other reason is there's no better way to get a child out of poverty than to put them into a decent area with decent schools. And until we fix the schools, rather than, hey, let's just send everybody to charter schools that aren't available, you're going to have a problem. But we cannot seem to fix the schools in this country because we have 50 different Department of Educations.
Because the fake news doesn't want to write that. but everyone knows.
What don't we want to write? Not that I'm part of the fake news.
Unless our friends in the suburbs have gotten a lot dumber than they used to be. They know that.
I'm in the
They
suburbs.
want to destroy your suburbs,
do I-
indoctrinate our children,
Yeah?
to
With
fund
what?
the police, and try everything in the book to turn our cities so that they look more like Portland, Oregon,
Where? Corkland?
so that they look more like Portland, Oregon, than
Porkland?
what we used to look.
There's a Porkland? Sounds like it would be in Wisconsin or Iowa.
That they look more like Portland, Oregon.
Has anyone ever been to Portland? Or wait a minute, is he talking about Portland, Oregon, or Portland, Maine? Because he's over on the East Coast right now.
Than what we're used to looking at. Never forget, they are coming after me because I am fighting for you. It's true, too. Today's Democrat Party is filled with hate. Just look at Joe Biden's supporters on the
Yeah, no, I've heard about Portland. They're not, definitely not kosher in Portland. In fact, there's a lot of Yosemites there.
streets screaming and shouting at bystanders.
Oh,
With
no.
unhinged manic rage, right? You see it? It's crazy. It's crazy. You had to see last night in Washington. It was a disgrace. It was a
No, we watched. We all watched what happened last night in this disgraceful performance in front of the White House. We saw it.
disgrace that these people are representing the United States of America. It was a disgrace.
Which people now? What? How are they representing the United States? What are we talking about now? He's talking about a speech.
Protesters. You know what I say? Protesters, your ass. I don't talk about my ass.
What? Protest this, your ass?
You know what I say? Protesters, your ass.
Protest this, your ass.
You know what I say? Protesters, your ass.
Whoa! Impeach Trump! Impeach Trump! Oh yeah? Well, protest is your ass. What?
I don't talk about my ass.
You... Okay. What is happening?
They're not protesters. Those aren't Those are anarchists. They're agitators. They're rioters. They're looters. They're not. You know, you say that, and some of the people, not all of them, but some of the people back there, how dare you? These are friendly protesters, right?
No, peaceful.
Friendly protesters.
Peaceful protesters.
They're just looking for trouble. Has nothing to do with George Floyd. Has nothing to do with anything.
They're protesting.
They don't even know who George Floyd is.
They do know who George.
Okay? They don't know who George Floyd. They have no idea. If
No
you
idea.
Ask them who's George Floyd, they couldn't even tell you. These are just bad people, troublemakers.
I would like him to show that to us, please. I would like him to head out to one of the protest lines and say, who is George Floyd? And if they don't know who George Floyd is, then I want him to say, protesters, yes. That'll show him.
And they shouldn't be representing our country at important events. And we've got to stop it. Democrats have no
How are they representing our country? Did someone vote for the protesters?
complaint about the rioters and the vandals marauding through our cities or mass unruly demonstrations, but they don't believe law-abiding citizens can go to a
Who?
church together.
What
Can't
is wrong with
believe
him today?
law-abiding citizens can unruly demonstrations, but they don't believe law-abiding citizens can go unruly demonstrations. But
Citizens?
they don't believe law-abiding citizens can go to a church together. You can't go to church anymore. You know how many churches are closed in this country? Because of the Democrats. You can go out and you can have thousands of people marauding through the streets, threatening other people, beyond threatening, kicking them in the face, doing what
Stop
they've
it.
done. You've seen it. And they would have done that to Senator Rand Paul last night he'd either be in very bad shape or dead, and that would include his wife if those policemen didn't happen to be there. And they took some big beating. And the reason they didn't fight back too much, they don't want to lose their pension, they don't want to lose their job, because we've become so politically correct, everybody's afraid to do anything now. But they did a good job.
Meaning Trump is afraid.
The puppet Biden, who's just controlled so strongly, wants you to cancel weddings, funerals, and school, but has no problem with thousands of so-called peaceful protesters cramming into your streets, mugging people, hurting people, robbing stores.
He has decried the violence many, many, many times.
Looting stores, burning down storefronts. The radical left will do anything to get power. They smeared Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and there is...
Kavanaugh?
Did you ever see anything like that?
What?
Brett Kavanaugh. To get
Brett
power.
Kavanaugh?
They smeared
Brett
Justice
Kavanaugh?
Brett Kavanaugh. Do anything to get power. They smeared Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and they are distraught. Did you ever see anything like that? Justice Kavanaugh. People forget, time goes by. They forget.
Yeah, he's struggling today, and he's doing a lot of verbal kitty litter. For those of you who just joined us, what he does is he lays a turd, he misreads something, he mispronounces something, and rather than correct himself, he'll just start to just shove verbal kitty litter on there, just a whole bunch of words, trying to connect one back to the mistake to somehow justify the mistake that he made.
We don't forget. I don't forget. They're destroying the livelihoods of innocent people. And if Biden wins, which I honestly can't believe can happen.
Could happen.
I will have lost to a low IQ individual. I don't want that. I don't want it.
Yeah, I heard that Biden paid someone to take his SATs. Might not have been Biden. I can't remember. It's not important.
Sleepy Joe, I don't want it. But the agitators will go from rioting in the streets to running the halls of government. Can you believe it? The levers, they call it the levers of government. The top 10 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrats and have been for decades. Now they're trying to impose those policies across the entire country. No one will be safe in Biden's America. I can't even call it Biden's America.
Well, no, because we're in your America right now, but that's attractive. What is he doing? Is he going to take his head off finally? And we're going to see the lizard come out?
Guy doesn't know he's alive.
Guy that doesn't know he's alive is going to destroy America. That's the plan.
He's going to be out in 10 days. He's going to start 10 days. 10 days. I mean, I gave a big speech last night. I said, what am I doing tomorrow night? You're going to New Hampshire. But, sir...
Oh, here comes a fake story. Biden doesn't know he's alive, but somehow he managed to go for an hour-long bike ride the other day with a helmet this time because he heard the people. Trump takes an hour to get down a ramp, but Biden doesn't know he's alive.
But, sir, we can cancel New Hampshire because, you had a big night. We can I said, are you crazy? I don't have the courage to cancel New Hampshire. I got to win New Hampshire, and I love the people, and you've been very good to me. Been very good to me.
Yeah, Biden can ride. Have you not seen, Patrick? Have you not seen Biden ride the bike? Like multiple times. He does it. He exercises. This whole, he lives in his basement all the time. It's nonsense. He goes to church and he exercises. Just look it up. It's Biden riding a bike. It's not that difficult to figure out. I don't know, Patrick, if you're in some kind of news bubble, you want to spread out. You want to start watching the other channels as well, do some reading, and you'll catch up on these things. So Trump does not ride a bike. Okay. And yeah, everybody was in favor of the crime bill at the time that it was passed. And Biden has said that he had to put things in there he didn't want in there in order to get it passed. That's how government works. If that's confusing to you, I assume you're a teenager. Coming, what is it, grade 9? 9th or 10th grade here. You really start getting into civics. And you'll pick up some stuff then, Patrick.
You've been very good to me. So New Hampshire was the first state I won, right? Remember, I came in. I was very excited. That was an exciting evening. That was an exciting race. But we don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, so he skipped out on Iowa. Remember that? He wouldn't do the debate in Iowa, so he'd lost Iowa to maybe Ted Cruz because the Republicans screwed up the results there. They make fun of the Democrats for screwing up Iowa this time, but nobody was sure who won last time. So Trump wouldn't do the debate. Instead, he had that salute to the military, to the veterans, where he raised $6 million. And then it wasn't until the Washington Post called him out on it months later that that money finally got found and donated. They had kept it in the campaign. But that's Trump, you know, the family that's not allowed to have a charity anymore.
We have to talk about the future. We don't talk about it. That was great. It was important. We've done more than any.
No, Patrick, Biden never supported and advocated for segregation. That's ridiculous. He supported busing, school busing. It's not segregation. In fact, it's integration. Completely different thing.
The administration in its first 3.5 years in the history of our country.
Patrick, Trump was sued by the EEOC because he was marking down. This is the Trump family. It's him and his dad. No, it's not busing segregation. It's busing integration. It's a different thing. Segregation is where you take the races and you separate them. You segregate them. Busing mixed the races. It was integration. It's the complete opposite of what you think it. Look it up. I mean, you can use Google. But yeah, Trump and his dad, you can look this up as well. They were sued by the EEOC because they were discriminating against African-American candidates for housing. The Fair Housing Commission went after them, and it turns out that, yeah, they would take applications and they would write C on anybody who was colored. So they would know we don't want to rent to them in New York. This is history. You can look that up. And yeah, they had to settle with the federal government.
And that's despite phony witch hunts, phony investigations, a phony impeachment based on a phone call that was absolutely...
No. The segregationists didn't want the busing, Patrick. That's go. There are notations to history here. You can look it up. I don't have time to go over it with you right now, but trust me, segregation is not mixing the races. You know those black and white films you see where the black kids are trying to get into the high school and all the white people are very angry? They're not angry because the black kids are there. They're angry because they don't want the black kids intermingling the races. Does anybody know, Patrick? We need to segregate the races by putting them together. Wow. Oh, wow.
Perfect. That's despite a pandemic that was probably sent in by China. Who the hell knows how it got here, and all over the world. Because China does not want to see me win, I can tell you that.
Oh, you're quoting an article. Okay, good. Patrick, yeah, my family's integrated too. It's great. Patrick, send me that link, please. Put the link in the, let's see, what are we on, YouTube? If you're on YouTube, Patrick, just put that link right there, and I can explain why you're wrong.
Not happy with China. I'll tell you what, if Biden got in,
link,
China
please.
would own the United States very quickly. They'd own it. If the Democrat Party wants to stand with anarchists, criminals, rioters, looters, and flag burners, that's up to them. The Republican Party and you, I can see you. Is there anybody in this place that enjoys burning the American flag? Is there anybody? Please quietly raise your hand. Be careful, could be very dangerous. The Republican Party will remain the voice of the patriotic heroes who keep America safe and our law enforcement. Right? We are all that stand between.
It could be an opinion piece, but anyway, Patrick, the point is, we live today, we live now. Things change. Trump used to be pro-abortion, so people change their opinions, and that's allowed. So yeah, but give us a link, Patrick. If you're going to quote articles, give us a link so we can take a look. Otherwise, it could just be making up bullshit, and it could be an opinion piece. So whatever. But give us a link so we can take a look. And we can have an actual discussion instead of this whole segregation is integration. Those are two different things. Trump was very pro-choice. Trump contributed to Hillary's campaign. Trump contributed $6,000 to Kamala Harris. $6,000. He used to be pro-Kamala.
The American people and the left.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is, right now, we have a president who's got a crowd in front of him without masks, and we have 180,000 American dead, and they talk like the pandemic's over. We want the pandemic controlled so we can open up the country and we can go back to work. We've lost 15 million American jobs. And hold on. Whoa, no, we just had record job growth. No. We lost 25 million because Trump didn't test in February. And then we've gained back 10. We're still 15 million jobs down.
Left-wing mob. If you want to save democracy from the mob, then you must vote to defeat an extremely poor candidate. Look, I believe I have the honor of running against
1,000 Americans a day. That's not low, Patrick. Yes, the deaths are going down, but we're not beating this thing. We're 4% of the world's population and 23.5% of the world's deaths. We are by far the worst nation at fighting this thing.
The worst candidate ever put up by the Democratic Party. The worst. How do you get worse?
No, Hillary was the worst.
I believe he's the worst candidate. The slowest candidate.
Okay, Patrick is a conspiracy theorist. Fake stats. All right. Patrick, you're getting a timeout. We'll have discussions. If you want to have a real discussion, I'm happy to have it. But this whole fake stats, the death, excuse me, I know people who are dead. I guess I don't know them anymore, do I? So, yeah, people are dying. The morgues are overflowing in some areas of the country. That's not fake. Why? You think all the funeral directors in America are like, hey guys, here's what we gotta do. You think my sister, a nurse, is faking this? You're an idiot.
And I mean in prime time he was the slowest candidate. Which was a long time ago. Prime time. You know what I don't like though? They say he's like 78, 79, 78 I guess, right? I know people that are 85, that are 88, 92. Bernie Marcus, Home Depot, is 92 years old. He's the sharpest guy you'll ever meet.
Okay.
There's nothing. 78 is okay. But that's a bad 78, not a good 78. 78's okay. But he shouldn't say that. You know, they shouldn't say it. The press, they say he's too old. He's not too old. He's not too old. But 78 is okay. But I know people in their 90s that are 100% sharp.
What? Why is he defending Joe Biden right now?
And good physically. Actually good physically. You want debate, so do I. I want debates too.
Joe Biden has already agreed to all 3 debates. The Trump campaign has not agreed to the debates yet.
I want debates. Tonight we're honored to be joined by New Hampshire.
So just agree to the debates. Do it. And we're set.
House Republican leader, Dick Hinch. Where's Dick? And I think your great governor is here. Where is the governor? Where's our governor? Hi, Dick. Good job. Do we like Dick? Yeah.
BLM, that's terrible. Why would BLM beat up gay men? From the walkaway campaign? I don't think that's a thing. Fist Music, if you've got a link, please post it so we can take a look.
Yes. Where's our governor? He's here. He just met me.
Oh, we can skip by the governors.
And we don't have same-day voting anymore.
What?
Because you have a great governor, and we don't have same-day voting anymore. We don't have same-day. What a joke that was last time. Remember? Buses poured up from Massachusetts.
Again, he's saying that millions of people poured up in buses from Massachusetts. There is no evidence of this. There are cameras on highways. They have been examined to make sure that buses full of people did not pull up and vote and register same day. New Hampshire's a small state. They have the records of how many people showed up and registered to vote with the same. You have to ask for a provisional ballot if you want to do the same day voting. Nope, never happened. Never. Complete fabrication of his head. Actually, he probably heard it from somebody else. He's not creative.
With a lot of people that weren't going to vote for Trump. And they poured up. Thousands and thousands of people came in on election day.
Not true. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. Remember, he formed a blue ribbon panel election committee with Chris Kobach, his Kansas City Secretary of State, who, Secretaries of State, they run the elections. So here's an election expert, and they were going to point out all the election fraud in America. They eventually disbanded because they didn't have any election fraud evidence.
And then you had a senator running on the Republican Party who wasn't exactly the greatest for us. But we have done so well here, and we're going to have a big win, and I'm hearing we're going to have a great win. So I want to thank you, Governor.
Oh, he's hearing. Okay, all right.
Also with us are state representatives, Al Baldessaro and Fred.
Patricia's down vote. Somebody voted me down? I got a down vote. I honestly have never looked at that before, but cool.
Doucette. Where are you? Hi, Al. I know these guys so well.
Yep.
I met him. He's a big fan, less about anybody. We did a good job for the candidate. Corky mess. Okay, get him. Congressional candidate Matt for a long time. He said right from the beginning, you're going to win this state, sir. We met him at the primaries. Stepanak. Steve. Lou Gargiulo. Where's Lou? Lou Gargiulo. Hi, Lou.
How
am I doing? Are we winning, Lou?
I'm not seeing any masks.
Lou.
But we're from behind, so there could be people with
He's
masks.
a smart cookie. He's so good. I love him. He's done a fantastic first guy.
Okay. There's too many people.
With the help of everyone here today, we've accomplished more in the first 3 years. We've done so much. We've done so much. You can go over taxes, and you could go over what we've done with the military. We passed.
Did he say
Go
taxes?
over taxes. And done so much. We've done so much. You can go over taxes, and you could go.
What is a tox? Toxes? Am I hearing something, guys, or does he say toxes?
Go over. We've done so much. You can go over taxes, and you could go over what we've done with the military. We passed the biggest tax cuts ever in the history of our country. Now they want to raise taxes. Think of it. All my life, I've watched politicians. Don't forget, I've only been doing this for 4.5 years. I haven't been. I've had senators come in. I've had congressmen come in. Sir, I've been doing this for 25 years. And in 25 years, I've only lost 3 races, sir. I said, but I've only been doing it for 4 years, and I only won 1 race, but now I have to win 2.
He ran in 2000. He ran with the Reform Party. He gave up after the first primary. After California, he only had 15% of the vote. He quit. He ran for president before. So this whole I've only run one time and I won. No, it's not. It's complete bullshit.
1 race I won, but it was for president. It was for president.
Also lost a race for president.
It was for president. But we did the largest tax cut in the history of our country, and we eliminated the most job-destroying regulations in the history of our country.
Yeah, Patrick, there's an issue with that. I looked into that case too, and he could have had a heart attack because of the COVID. It's a vascular disease, which we didn't really understand at the time. Or it might not have been. But the fact of the matter is, he had COVID, and he died. Is that 180,000 people? I mean, if 180,000 people are dying in motorcycle accidents, guys, we got to do something about the motorcycle accidents. Start wearing a helmet, people, and a mask. They always go to this one motorcycle guy because he had COVID. He got into a motorcycle accident. So maybe that did, but he also could have had a heart attack or an aneurysm because of the COVID, because those things happen too because of COVID. And that was the cause of the accident. But it's always the one guy. So someone do the percentage of that. What is that? 0.00007%?
Job-killing Paris Climate Accord. That was a killer. That was meant to hurt the United States, by the way, in case you had any questions. Today, the United States...
So my friend's uncle, who was on the respirator, he probably got up and he was trying to get... He was on a motorcycle, and he's like, "Don't come after me, doctors." Then he died. COVID.
States is the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere on Earth.
Under Obama.
To give critically ill patients access to life-saving cures, we passed, and hopefully anybody here doesn't need it. Nobody
Right to
here.
try.
Uh-oh, do you need it? Uh-oh. Don't raise that. Oh, she is? Is she okay? I'll get it for her. Is she okay? We got to get her on the list. Tell me. Oh, from before? Well, that's a long time, before I was president. Does she want to get on the list? Because I've seen you at rallies before. I want to get... Will you please? I want to get his wife on the list. It's called Right to Try.
The list of what?
Right to Try. We'll work. He's been a friend of mine. God, come on. He's been here for a long time. He's been a good guy for a long time. We got to get... Is your wife, how's she doing?
Right to try is a state's issue. There is now a federal law that Trump did pass, which is great. The first year, in 2017, two people used the federal right to try. It's a state's, anyway.
She couldn't get it before me. Well, we had that with Mueller. You saw that with the Muellers last night. You saw that, right? Was that a sad with their incredible daughter, what happened?
Yeah.
He said if Trump was president, that wouldn't have happened, and they're right.
Oh, Stephanie, do you know something that's coming up? You're going to ruin it for... Holy crap. How long does he talk? Let's see. We got another 45 minutes? Oh, my God. Okay, here we go.
That would not have happened. We took out al-Baghdadi. I wish I were president. You would have had a different solution. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead. How about you?
I know people have been saying something's going to happen here, but I have not seen
later.
any news about this yet.
Right to try. You have no idea. So many people, they used to travel all over the world to get a cure. And now we can sign a quick, simple document. You know, it sounds easy. It wasn't. But it was easy for me. I understood it. And now you sign a document. We give you the greatest medicines, even if they haven't been approved. And if somebody's terminally ill, like in the case of your wife, if somebody's terminally ill, at least you have hope. But it's beyond that, because people have gone home. You have to see some of the results have been incredible. And you saw one of the people the other day, right? That wonderful young lady that was so incredible and spoke so well. And she's a special person. She really is a special person. Thank you. We'll talk to you. Thank you very much. And to bring opportunities to our inner cities, I signed the groundbreaking criminal justice reform, prison reform, opportunity zones, permanent funding for historically black colleges and universities. True. And before the China virus came in,
Again, the China virus did come in.
We had the best job numbers ever recorded in the history of our country. We had almost 160 million Americans working.
Stephanie, what are you talking about? Go back. We talked through it. What am I missing? Did my internet cut out to my brain?
It never had numbers like that. The Republican Party is the party of Abraham Lincoln. Remember that.
It was. How'd that work out for him?
We stand for so much, including Martin Luther King's dream of a nation where our children are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. You know.
You got it right.
The radical left's effort to divide everyone by race tears us apart. There's so much racial hatred, and it's put there by CNN, by MSDNC. They stoke the flames, and they know it. The good news is their ratings aren't great, so that's okay. They don't have great ratings. But they stoked the flames. Uh-oh, CNN just turned off their camera again. They always turn off their camera. Why do I keep doing that? You know?
He always accuses them of that. It's a pool camera. And no, it doesn't turn off. This is one of his gimmicks.
Every time I do it, they turn off their camera. They did it last time. I mentioned CNN. They're screaming, turn the camera off. So, our movement is about a brighter future for all Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. Joe Biden spent the last 47 years betraying the African American community. I've spent the last 4 years delivering for the African American community like nobody, with the exception possibly of Abraham Lincoln, has delivered before. It's true.
Wait, Patrick, are you talking about Jussie Smollett, the criminal? So, I don't even know what you mean. Jussie went hard for 40. I don't know. Anyway. Patrick, you were going to send. Welcome back, Patrick. Let's see if you can behave yourself this time. Send us that link, please.
First week in office, I withdrew the United States from the last administration's horrible, stupid, insane Trans-Pacific Partnership. Would have destroyed the U.S. order.
It would not have destroyed the U.S. And if he had, if he hadn't have pulled us out of it, and we were not in it at the time, it was being discussed. We would have more appropriate means to go after China, Japan, or anybody else in the TPP who happen to be playing outside of the rules. But instead, we've got the tariffs that Trump put on, which then hurt the farmers, which then hurt all of America, and we ended up in a manufacturing contraction before the coronavirus. Yes, manufacturing was going the wrong way in the United States. In 2019, we had 200,000 fewer manufacturing jobs than in 2018. Trump was killing manufacturing with his tariffs.
Industry and many other industries. New Hampshire lost 1 in 4, and I think much more than that, manufacturing jobs following twin disasters of NAFTA and China's entrance into the WTO. It was...
Well, that also has a lot to do with robotics. I mean, that's what happened in the 1990s, 2000s, 2010s. We got robots building things in factories, and we eliminated people. That's everywhere.
It's more than 1 in 4. That statistic is wrong. Please have it changed. That is statistic.
Patrick, who are you quoting? What is he? Does anybody know what Patrick's doing here? I don't watch the chat all the time, so maybe I'm missing something, Patrick. But I have no idea what you're doing.
Is wrong. Far more than 1 in 4. Earlier this year, I kept my promise and replaced the NAFTA nightmare with the brand new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement.
NUFTA, which is pretty much the same as NAFTA.
That couldn't be done. I also took the toughest ever action to stand up to China's pillaging and plundering of American jobs. Joe Biden's agenda is made.
And because of it, in 2019, we had 200,000 fewer manufacturing jobs. So great job, Mr. President.
In China, my agenda is made in America.
How do we feel about Colin Powell speaking at the DNC convention? Okay. It's not going to change anybody's vote.
After years of building up other nations, we are finally building up our nation and our jobs, and we're taking care of our people.
John McCain, the American hero? Okay, that's, you can't do that. You don't take veterans like that who served our countries for years and call him a warmonger.
You know, last night
Hawk, yes, not a warmonger. That's a different thing. You got to work on your definitions, dude. You got to look up words before you use them.
I got great reviews of the speech and all, but some of the fakers back there, they said, well, it was a little long.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have used the White House. Oh, really? Tell me.
Right?
But they said it was a little long.
Yeah, see? That's what impeachment did. Come on. Come on. He doesn't care. He's untouchable, and he knows it. Our system is broken.
One person, I think it was Chris Wallace, nice guy. He's actually a nice guy. He said that he didn't have the same energy in the speech that he usually has. Well, it's a different kind of a speech. Tonight, I'm in New Hampshire, and we can wing it.
It's a lot harder for Trump to read.
You see, actually, Chris, who has always wanted to be his father, but it never worked out because of a lack of talent. Actually, though...
Oh, wow. First he calls Chris Wallace a nice guy. Then he says he's got no talent and he always wanted to be his father. Which, if anybody ever tells me that I want to be my dad, I'm like, yeah, he's awesome. So, I'm not sure if he's insulting him. We know that Trump always wanted to be his father.
Actually, Chris has it wrong. If I did last night's speech here, by now you would have all been walking out. And if I did tonight's speech there, I would have been criticized by being slightly radical. But we're having a good time doing it this way, right? Because we are finally putting America first.
Remember, he was supposed to do last night's speech in Jacksonville. And before that, in North Carolina, that he canceled, then decided to go back, and then decided the White House.
Under my administration, America's borders are more secure than ever before. We ended the catch and release, stopped asylum fraud, and we have deported 20,000 gang members and 500,000 criminal aliens.
I'm not even going to bother looking that up.
We've already built 300 miles of border wall, and we're adding 10 new miles every single week.
Last time it was actually published, they had 5 new miles. 5 new miles of border fencing. No wall, fencing. Fencing that you can climb over. Watch Last Week Tonight from this last Sunday with John Oliver. And he also, one of his favorite things that he does is he just makes up the story about mountain climbing champions that they sent pieces of the wall to try and get, and they couldn't get over it. These mountain climbing champions couldn't get over them. You know, the guys who scale ice crevices, they couldn't, there's no way they could get over the 30-foot wall. Just Google it.
And the wall will soon be completed, and our numbers on the border are the best they've ever been. And by the way,
no, they're not even close to the best they've ever been.
You know, Mexico is paying for the wall, just in case you didn't know that.
Oh, tell us, how? How? Where's that check?
They're paying for the wall. You ever notice on the wall, everything was wall, wall. They didn't think I was going to get it done because, you know, look, you have one major party controlling Congress, and they don't want to give me a wall. So, you know, they're going crazy. Wall, the wall's not getting done. Then I get it done, get it from the military, get it from everything. You know,
Yeah, get it from the military. He stole the money from the Pentagon budget for rebuilding, like, military family schools. That sort of thing.
Developer, I know how to get money. It's one of those. Developer.
He stole it from the Pentagon, which the Supreme Court just said, no, you can't do. I'm sorry, it might have been a lower court. It was a lower court.
Developers understand. And now that the wall is almost complete, it'll be soon complete, and it's the wall that border security
It's 300 miles on a 2,000-mile border, but it's soon going to be complete.
wanted so badly. This is the one. But now that it's built, you never hear about the wall. They don't talk about it anymore. They don't talk about it anymore. It's incredible.
You do.
But the wall will soon be complete. We've invested $2.5 trillion in the U.S. military and launched the first new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. In nearly 75 years, the Space Force. And Al, in honor of you, we have passed VA choice and VA accountability, Al.
That was 2014, Obama.
That guy's been bugging me for years. Al has been bugging me. What's on that hat, Al? Let me see. That's not bad. Al, he's been bugging me for years. Did you ever think we'd get VA choice, VA accountability? Did you ever really believe it? Thank you, Al. I withdrew from the last administration's disastrous Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. $150 billion we paid Iran for a basically short-term deal. And we gave them what's more impressive, we also gave them $1.8 billion in cash. Cash! Many plane loads. You know what that took? Many, many plane loads.
Yeah, because they were being sanctioned by the international banking system, so they can't have banks. So you have to give them the cash, and it's their cash to begin with. And Obama, by giving them their cash, which they had paid for planes back in the late 70s, if he doesn't do that, the international courts were about to find that they deserved $10 billion in cash because of 40 years of interest when America didn't give them their money that they'd already paid us for. So faith and credit of the United States, etc. But yeah.
1.8 billion. I said, that's when I realized how powerful a president is in the United States. When a president has the right, which, by the way, I don't believe he did have that right, okay? When a president has the right to go into the banks and take out $1.8 billion and hand it to people that hate our guts, that's power. That's power. I don't believe he had the right to do it. I kept my promise, recognized the true capital of Israel, and opened the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. And I recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. And we achieved the first breakthrough in the Middle East in 25 years. You saw that just last week. UAE, highly respected, Mohammed, highly respected, UAE and Israel. And now they're all going to be coming in. Now they're all saying, how come you didn't tell us about this? You'll have peace in the Middle East, and yet we're moving our troops out. It's pretty amazing, actually. We'll get no credit for it, but that's all right. Remember that, Caitlin. Cover that properly, Caitlin. We like Caitlin. Together, we've spent the last 4 years cleaning up 47 years of Biden disasters. Joe Biden has spent his entire career on the wrong side of history. He supported NAFTA, China's entry. He's done so many things. This man, if you look at what he's done, we went into a deal, the Korea, you know about the Korea deal? Hillary Clinton's deal along with Biden. They promised 250,000 jobs, right? 250,000 jobs. And they were right, except all those jobs went to South Korea. They didn't come to us.
That's not accurate at all.
He wants mass amnesty. He wants illegal aliens to be taken care of, health care, and every other way.
Cheapest
and
way
he
to do
wants
it.
to raise your taxes. Look, your taxes are going to go through the roof. He's going to destroy your health care. He's going to have socialized medicine. Remember when Obama said...
Trump is literally suing in federal court right now to stop the ACA to get rid of pre-existing conditions. Meanwhile, 2 days. 2 days until we get that phenomenal healthcare he's been promising over and over and over again. Speaking of Chris Wallace, it was just back in middle of June, July? Middle of July when he promised Chris Wallace that the great healthcare was going to be released in 2 weeks, which has now come and gone. So the next thing he said was end of August. So we're waiting. I'm so excited.
28 times, you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan. Turned out to be a lie. Now you're going to lose your doctor again, and we're going to lose 185 million people who have private health insurance. Who has private health insurance?
Biden's plan does not include taking away private health insurance. It's not in there.
Yeah. And you love it, right? You love it. It's luxury. It's
nobody loves their luxury private health insurance ad.
Good. It's beautiful, and you have the great.
Peach time, you didn't do Obamacare right. What state are you in?
You're going to lose it. Hate to tell you. Under his plan, you're going to lose your private health care. So here's the guy. I go into Texas 2 weeks ago. We had, by the way, on the highway and the roadways, thousands and thousands of people lined up on the runway in New Hampshire, by the way. What
highway,
happened to those?
Not runway.
But we had thousands and thousands of people. So I'm in Texas. I'm also last week in Florida. We got total endorsement from all of the sheriffs all over Florida, Ohio, many places. But think of Texas. He's against oil and gas. He's against guns. And he's against religion. So you're in Texas. You're in Texas where I'm winning by a lot. They say
Biden is not against religion. He goes to church every Sunday. Trump does not.
Texas is very close. I don't think so. They said that last time, too. Remember they said it last time? For them to call...
Okay, but that's not Obamacare's fault then. If you make too much money, then you can pay for health insurance. See, the ACA just creates an open marketplace. And if you make below a certain amount of money, you get subsidies. Before that, some of the states gave that. What state are you in? The problem might be the state that you're in, because there's a lot of stupid states out there.
Call it early. You have to be really... So I heard for a year, Texas is going to be very close.
Oh, and by the way, everybody benefits from Obamacare. Not just the subsidies, but, for example, pre-existing conditions. Before Obamacare, I could not get health insurance because I have asthma and I have what's called sleep apnea. And so the cheapest plan that I could get was $1,100. I had catastrophic insurance, which, trust me, when I actually got sick was a complete catastrophe. I had insurance. I spent 4 days in the hospital with no surgery, and I owed $23,000, even with insurance. $23,000. So anyway, he's trying to get rid of that.
It's going to be... Everybody believed that, except for the people that lived in Texas. So at 8 o'clock...
I like soy, actually. I eat a lot of tofu. It's quite healthy. I've had 2 heart attacks, so it's important to stay healthy. Try and cut down on the cholesterol.
The polls closed, and they said Donald Trump has won the state of Texas simultaneously with the closing. But...
yeah, actually, when Trump was trying to get rid of Obamacare the first time, before McCain did the thumbs down in the middle of the night, because it matters when it's actually done the thumbs down. Anyway, my cardiologist did say if you're able to move back to Canada and they take away Obamacare, you might consider it. Because otherwise, if pre-existing conditions go away, I'm not going to be able to get health care. That's that. Unless somebody wants to hire me and give me the private health insurance, which then jacks their rates up as well. Everybody in the company pulls together. So there's other ways to do it. I could get it through Costco or whatever and pay through the nose. But yeah, once you've had a heart attack, no fault of my own, it's genetic. It's in my family. What are you going to do? My family, by the way, who established this country, right there, that's my great Roger Williams, founder of Rhode Island. But because I'm related to him, actually I could have gotten from my great-grandmother's side of the family. I have no idea. But yeah, my cardiologist actually told me, keep that in mind if that's something that you need to do. You do not want to be a cardiac patient and not have insurance in this country.
I'm now running
Hey,
in
Chris.
Texas against a man who's against oil, guns, and God.
God,
How do you win Texas?
we're
I
on a
said
mission
this.
from God.
You-
Joe Biden is not against God. He's a Catholic. We have images of him praying in church. We have images of you in your golf cleats in church. Ask Biden. Give him a quiz. Ask him about his favorite Bible verse. I will bet you good money he does not say 2 Corinthians.
You could bring George Washington back as your presidential candidate. You could bring Abraham Lincoln, let's put him as the vice presidential candidate. Run in Texas and other states, you couldn't win. You couldn't win. Now,
You mean the states that didn't exist when they were president? Those ones? Work on your history, dude. Maybe go with FDR.
they're not going to win. We're going to win this. And you're against the oil stuff, too, because his whole thing on oil, no fracking, no this, no that. You know, New England has the highest energy costs in the United States. And you know why?
Because they have very little wind and solar. Yes, I do know that.
Because Governor Cuomo will not let a pipeline go across the tip of New York State so that oil and gas, of which we have plenty, can come. And you know where you buy your energy from? Russia. Did you know that?
Is that
You
true?
have ships, much of it, from Russia. Because Governor Cuomo, New York, won't allow a pipeline. And they're desperate to have something happen in upper New York State. And those are great people. But they've been treated very badly. But they won't allow a pipeline. By not allowing a pipeline, we're trying to do it through essentially eminent domain. By not allowing a pipeline to go through upper New York State and create a lot of jobs for them, you have the highest energy prices in the United States by far. Thank you, New York. Thank you. Thank you, Governor Cuomo. Biden voted for the Iraq War. I was against the Iraq War. He opposed the mission to take out Osama bin Laden. He opposed the killing of Soleimani. You remember that one? He oversaw the rise of ISIS, and he cheered the rise of China as a...
I just Googled Russian oil, energy, natural gas, and New Hampshire. Literally not a single result on Google. I don't know where he's getting that from. You know, Canada is right there, and they have a lot of oil and natural gas. So, and plus we have ships that, see, New Hampshire has 2 sides. You got your New York side, and then you got your other side.
Positive development for America and for the world. That's not a positive development. You know, before they went into the WTO, China was flatlined. For years and years and decades, flatlined. And then they got into the WTO and a lot of bad things happened. First, China stole our jobs, plundered our intellectual property, and unleashed the virus. And now China is trying to just hug and kiss Joe Biden. They want him so badly. Look, if you like China, you should vote for Biden, that I can tell you. How about his son? Do you think this...
Okay, complete nonsense with the Russia. This is why New Hampshire's so expensive. They have incredibly expensive electrical prices. 40% of the state's electricity is coming from nuclear, which used to be cheap, isn't anymore. They get it from the Seabrook nuclear power plant. Then they get natural gas. 26% of their energy comes from natural gas, which comes through Maine and from Canada. And then another 15% is coal on demand. So as they get to that level that they need more energy, they get it from coal. They don't have any natural energy there. That's the problem with New Hampshire. It's because everything is coming from something else. But in terms of energy from Russia, he didn't specifically say natural gas or oil. No evidence of that, according to the Institute for Energy Research. But yeah.
Son, maybe there's a conflict. How about his son? Where's Hunter? Where is Hunter?
Good
Where's
question.
Hunter? Does anybody know? Where's Hunter?
Yeah, well, I saw him on the DNC like last week. So,
He's in another country right now, probably ripping off another country. Now, as soon as Biden became vice president,
Welcome aboard, Sean.
President, bad things happened with respect to Hunter. If that happened with respect to my family, I wouldn't be standing. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Ukraine, and it's not just Ukraine, and it's not...
Wait, what did he say about not standing? I guarantee you I wouldn't be standing? Hold on, sorry.
Now, as soon as Biden became vice president, bad things happened with respect to Hunter. If that happened with respect to my
No, Biden was vice president in 2009, Trump.
family, I wouldn't be standing. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. To my family, things happened with respect to Hunter. If that happened with respect to my family, I wouldn't be standing. I guarantee you that.
Why? What? Because he'd be in a wheelchair? What is he? He wouldn't be president anymore? He wouldn't be running? He wouldn't be standing.
I guarantee you that. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. Ukraine, and it's not just Ukraine, and it's not just China. But he goes into China, takes out $1.5 billion to manage, and he knows nothing, and he wasn't even employed. He got thrown out of the armed services.
He was employed.
So give me a break. It's a disgrace what's happening.
He worked at a law firm. He was on the board of directors of Amtrak. He was on a board of a charity as well, but okay.
There's a double, there's a thing happening with the media.
He should do just a little bit of research into Hunter Biden before he attacks him. By the way, every poll that's been done on this shows that America just does not care about Hunter Biden, which is why they gave up on it for so long. Now he's bringing it back because he's behind in the polls and he's like, this is going to do it. We're going to go back to Hunter Biden again. Even though the people around him are probably saying, sir, it didn't, yeah.
Like nobody's ever seen before. These people right here.
Yeah, Hunter was kicked out of the military for addiction. Yes, he had an illness and it's been addressed. And then he went on to further things in life. You don't get kicked out of the military and then that's it, you know. Your life continues at that point.
Because if that happened...
why was Trump kicked out of the military again? I forget. If you could, I don't know who put that there. I saw someone put something about Hunter being kicked out of the military. But I know, of course, that Donald Trump, who loves his country so much, enlisted, but then he was kicked out, I'm assuming. Or did he he just got out after his 4 years of duty in Vietnam? Is that what happened? Because I know he was that age in Vietnam. So I can't remember everything. I got a lot going on. There's so many different flavors of Gatorade that you got to keep track of. This is Powerade. It's not even Gatorade. That's what I'm saying. There's too much in my life to keep track of why Donald Trump isn't in the military anymore. Because I know, I mean, it just inherently, you know, this man loves America more than anyone else ever has in history. Obviously, he joined the military and served in Vietnam, right? So anyway, you were saying something about Hunter Biden, but forgive me. Let me know.
To a Republican in particular, if any of that stuff happened to me, it would be brutal. But it happened to him. They don't want to talk about it. And how about the questions asked by Anderson Cooper yesterday? Anderson Cooper, he's interviewed me a lot over the years, and I always got along with him, but they were tough interviews. Did you hear the questions? And Biden kept looking down. I think he was reading the answers off a teleprompter, right? I think he was reading the answers off a teleprompter, and that's happened before. And how about David Muir of ABC? He's a nice guy, right?
Yeah.
How soft were those questions? How soft were those? They don't ask me questions like that. They got...
David Muir asked him if he would shut down the country if the scientists said that he should. And he said, yes, if the scientists say that I should. And then you attacked him, saying that he wanted to shut down the country against science. You said that last night to The Nation, which, by the way, hardly anybody watched. But you claimed that he was going to do it against science. When literally he said that. In fact, I'll play it. I don't want you to trust me on this. Again, most of what I say, guys, I will back up if I have to. Let me pull that up because that is kind of funny. Here he is claiming Biden was going against science. That's what he said last night. Let me pull that up here. Yeah, right here. Biden specifically says, if the scientists tell me to, I will. Here he is.
I would be prepared to do whatever it takes to save lives. If the scientists say, shut it down, I would shut it down. I would listen to the scientists.
I would listen to the scientists. So yeah, if the scientists tell you shut down the country, first off, a president can't shut down the country. Trump didn't shut down the country. The governors shut things down. But he would obviously tell the governors, you need to shut down the country because that's how science works. Anyway.
That fire pouring out of their eyes. No, Mr. Vice President, what do you think of this? How was your breakfast, sir? Did you enjoy it?
No, I'm sure producer Joanna, you're wrong on that. I'm going to fact check you right there. 100% this man served in the military. Look at how much he loves this country. There is no way that we went through a major conflict. It was a war in Vietnam, and he didn't show up for service. I'm sure he wasn't even drafted. I'm sure of it. No conscription for this guy. He was at the front of the line, lying about his age, saying, I want in. Guarantee that. Mega.
When I banned travel from China, Biden called it hysterical and...
He never banned I can't even say it. He did not ban travel from China, Biden. It's not a thing. From South China, yes, but not from China, Biden.
Xenophobic. He even used somewhere along the line hysterical and xenophobic. He even used...
He did not call... First off, he didn't ban travel from China. That never happened. Secondly, Biden didn't call that xenophobic. He called xenophobic... He's got xenophobic. The malt beverage. Xenophobic. He called him xenophobic because he kept calling it the China virus. That's what Biden was talking about. But there was no ban to call xenophobic or xenophobic.
Somewhere along the line, the word racist. They always want to get that word in there. If we had listened to Joe, hundreds of thousands of more Americans would have died. But instead, my decision saying...
No, Joe has been saying for almost a year now, you got to prepare for a pandemic. You're dismantling the pandemic team. People are going to die. So had we listened to Joe, we would not be the worst country on the planet for the pandemic.
Save thousands and thousands of lives. And then we banned Europe very early because I saw what was going on really in Italy and Spain and France. When the virus arrived, we launched the largest national mobile...
It was way too late. Genetics has shown us that the virus from Europe was already here. And that's what wiped out New York and New Jersey. It was way too late to ban Europe. And then for some reason to wait a few days before banning UK. Like UK is... He doesn't even know the geography over there. Remember, he likes to explain that the UK is part of England.
Since World War II, Mike Pence did a great job. We produced more than 100,000 ventilators within weeks. And not a single...
Peach Time Patrick, put a link, please. That's not helping us.
American who has needed a ventilator has been denied a ventilator, not one. You heard all about... And now we're producing ventilators. Hard to produce, expensive, complex. We're producing them now for the rest of the world. 188 countries were affected by this. We pioneered advances.
He is right. Hold on. Here's the bike bell. It is 188 countries, at least last time I looked. But he was wrong for months.
In treatment that have reduced the monthly rate. And you look at this, the mortality rate has been reduced by 85% since April.
It has not. That is not the mortality rate. The number of people dying on a daily basis has decreased, but it has not decreased by 85%. That is completely wrong. Oh, wait, did he say what's going back? Because we weren't testing anybody, so that might be accurate, but it's not the mortality rate.
Reduced. And you look at this, the mortality rate has been reduced by 85% since April. Think of that. Has been reduced.
So here's the deal. I think what they're doing there with those stats is he's talking about the number of people who die compared to the number of people that you test who have it, calling that the mortality rate, which for fatality rate, but mortality, fine. So remember back in March and April, when we weren't testing anyone unless they were very, very sick because the CDC screwed up the tests? So yeah, of course, because the mortality rate back in April, if that's what we're going to call it, was ridiculous because we had screwed up the tests. Remember, by March 12th, South Korea had tested 220,000 citizens. The U.S. had tested 5,000.
By 85%.
Peach Time Patrick, send a link, please. Oh, but I'm going to read what you wrote here, though. The Trump administration's decision to ban most foreign nationals who had been in China the last 2 weeks from traveling to the United... What is this from? Amid an accelerating outbreak, there was preceded by calls for similar policies from conservative lawmakers and far-right supporters of the president. Public health experts warn that the move could do more harm than good. It's possible because what you do then is you create a xenophobic atmosphere, or xenophobic, depending on whether you want to agree with Trump in the pronunciation or not. The other thing that the World Health Organization warned against is that you want to do that at the beginning of a health event like this, but it's not enough. You want to do more than just ban travel from other countries. And here's the problem. There were 11 loopholes in that ban. And again, I don't want you to believe me. I'm going to pull it up for you. It was not a ban. No flights were canceled because of Trump. It was certain foreign national who had been to the Wuhan district in the last 2 weeks' time. Americans, come on in. Other people from other places in China, come on in. Hong Kong, come on in. Macau, come on in. Consequently, within a month, 40,000 people had traveled here from China. And as we know now, because science, the virus was already here. And it was pouring in from Europe. That's how we got our first major outbreak in the New York area. So the China, here's the thing, and the other way, I'll prove this to you. But first, I want to pull up that link I was going to give to you. Presidential proclamation. Here we go. Proclamation China. Proclamation China. Okay. Here we go. This is from whitehouse.gov, Peaches Patrick. Right here. Okay. This is a proclamation suspension of entry of immigrants and non-immigrants or persons who pose a risk of the coronavirus, issued on January 31st. This is the one. This is the China ban that he talks about. You can find this on whitehouse.gov. In fact, here, I'll put up a link so you can follow along. One moment, please. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, you're going to have people rushing back to the country as well, which is what happened. Here's the problem. This is one of the big reasons they said it could backfire. Sorry, I have to make this go down. There we go. So there's the actual link so you can follow along. Why did I point out the date? Because A, everybody knows it was January 31st. Here's the problem. It didn't go into effect for 2 more days. And so you had a flood of people coming into the country that wouldn't necessarily have come to the country, many from the Wuhan district where the virus was already an epidemic. And if we look here, January 31st, that's when it was announced. And we go down, and let me find it here. Okay, so excluding, here we go, Hong Kong and Macau, parts of China. During the 14-day period, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so first, I know what it is at the very bottom. So let's just go to the very bottom, because it'll show you that even though it was signed on the 31st, he told everybody about it, Secretary Azar announced it on the 31st. It wasn't going to go into effect until 5 p.m. on February 2nd. So what do you think happened? Everybody who wanted to get into the United States and had been to the Wuhan district in the last 2 weeks got on a plane and came here. 40,000 people. And how do we know that they weren't tested? Because this is the beginning of February. By the end of February, the CDC had only done 4,000 tests. 4,000 out of 40,000 people. So 9 in 10 people coming in from China during that period were not getting tested. Now, I want to show you something else here. These are all exemptions, okay? Okay, so didn't apply to any lawful permanent resident, didn't apply to any alien, a spouse of you, didn't apply to any alien who's a parent. Da 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 la 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 la. All these exemptions, 11 different exemptions, and that's why 40,000 people came here in the first month, and according to some sources, up to 400,000 people over the first 2 or 3 months, circumventing because they hadn't been to China in the last 2 weeks. Or just flew through another country and didn't report that they'd been to China. So, woo! And more importantly, how do we know? How do we know for sure that the Trump effort to block everybody coming in from China really had very little effect? I'm going to tell you in just a second. Let me get rid of the proclamation. Again, you can go find this proclamation yourself. It's out there. It's on the whitehouse.gov site. This isn't something I just wrote up myself. Many, many countries didn't block Chinese people from leaving the country. They have now. I mean, let's be honest. And you know what countries blocked from almost everywhere? That's us. America first. He keeps saying that hundreds of thousands of lives were saved, that millions and millions of lives were saved. We did put a partial block on some travelers from China. Many countries had no block whatsoever of travelers from China. And somehow, we're leading the world in deaths from coronavirus. So whatever you want to say about whatever your opinion is, whether it was flights or Chinese ban or foreign net, whatever you want to say, even if the evidence I just showed you didn't exist, we know that it was a massive failure. If somehow Trump saved hundreds of thousands of lives by stopping people coming in from China, other countries who didn't do that would have hundreds of thousands of dead. They don't. USA, number one. Number one with a bullet, right to the side of the head. Let's go back to Trump. I think we spent enough time on that.
Since April, think of that. 85% since April. Under Operation Warp Speed, 3 different vaccines are right now in final stage trials. If you go back 3 years, that would have been...
Yeah, but Peach, there were no quarantines. That's a joke. There were no quarantines. There was one flight that came over with coronavirus patients that they actually knew had coronavirus. They quarantined them in Sacramento. You can look that up. But everybody else flying in, no. They were only testing at 3 airports, and those tests were a thermometer. Oh, you look hot today. Oh, no, you're good. Go ahead. Nobody was being quarantined.
Something that would have been impossible to even discuss. It would have taken years. We will produce a vaccine this year, and together we will defeat the virus. It's already...
I hope so, but you know what? There's no evidence we're going to do that. But you can't guarantee a vaccine by the end of the year. Neither can you say like, oh, this plasma treatment is 34% effective when it's only 3% effective. By the way, there's a side story there involving a spokesman for 11 days at the FDA who was hired from OAN. And remember how Stephen Hahn came out a couple of days after Sunday's announcement with the plasma, saying, oh, by the way, I'm really sorry we got those numbers wrong. It wasn't 34%, it's 3 to 4%. Well, the guy who told him that he should tell the truth, they just fired him today too. Trump got upset that Hahn went out and told the truth to the American people about the actual efficacy of plasma treatment. They fired the guy.
Already getting defeated. And by the way, another big Democrat hoax, another big hoax. I want football back. I'm the one that's been saying, is that a correct statement? I want football back. These are young, strong guys. They're not going to be affected by the virus. If you look at it, it's generally older people that have heart
Generally, yeah, but not always.
conditions, that have diabetes, that have problems. These are big, strong guys. They'll be just fine. But I want football back. I've been calling for football to be back, including Big Ten. Big Ten, get with it.
What's the hoax?
Open up your season, Big Ten.
but it's not 0%, is it? So people will die. And not just death. There are other long-term detrimental issues from this virus. My son's friend is 24 years old. He got it way back at the beginning. He has trouble walking up a hill. This is a vascular disease and this is a respiratory disease. So yeah, people do. How many kids is okay? I thought one life is so precious. How many kids have to die? So far, we just hit 100 kids dead. 100 people under 18 in this country have died from the coronavirus. How many is okay? How many is good? Where do we stop so that we can have football?
And the Dems don't want it back for political reasons, but now their new line, this is...
And here's the thing. The football players in the NCAA, they're not in a bubble. You can't have a bubble for 300 teams. And those football players, some of them live with people that are older than they are, or they have contact with older people than they are. Or maybe they get an injury and they have to go in and see a medical professional who happens to be older than they are. So let's not turn athletes into mass spreaders. Just not do it. I mean, I love college football. I love pro football. I like baseball. It's cool. I don't watch basketball anymore. Love hockey. But if any of those things are not played because they might endanger other people, like none of those things. Here's the thing. If you said to me, hey, this is what we want to do. We're going to play the Stanley Cup. And 5 people are going to die. But we're going to have the Stanley Cup. Just 5 people. They're old folks. They're like more than 65. They're retired. They don't work. They're not part of the workforce anymore. Not really contributing a whole lot to the economy. So we're going to have the Stanley Cup. But 5 people are going to die. I'm going to say, yeah, no, I'm good without the Stanley Cup. Let's just cancel this year. We'll have it next year. Have 2 Stanley Cups next year. What the fuck do I care? It's just a sport. But, we need college football. College football! Because the Wisconsin Badger Dogs have to win the 17th place in the College Bowl Series. The models haven't predicted anything wrong. They're models. That's not what they do. Okay, hold on. Peach time, no. More people will not die from shutdowns. It's not even close. From the entire 2009 recession, when millions of people lost their jobs across North America and Europe, a total of 10,000 people committed suicide. A total, 10,000. We're already at 180,000 just in this country. That is complete nonsense. Absolute and utter nonsense, Peach time.
Like Russia, all this crap they come up with. Now their new line is they are trying to blame me and keep football shut down. They want to keep it shut down, and they're saying that President Trump shut it down. I'm the one that wants it open.
Who is saying that President Trump shut down football? I mean, yeah, because he failed to test in February. The whole country is shut down in a number of different ways. We still don't have enough testing, as evidenced by the CD just changing its testing rules to say that if you're asymptomatic, you don't need a test. Because we don't have enough tests. We have a backlog at the labs. He didn't implement the FDA with the labs. He's like, you know what? We're just going to let private business handle it. We're not gonna get meddled into this too much. No. Do we need to build more labs? No, we're good. The private industry is going to take its genius, capitalism, and here we are, 8 months into this thing, and we can't get tested.
So they're reversing it. They're playing a big con game. It's just a con game, and that's what we're dealing with, and we have to defeat them on November 3rd. I want football back and Big Ten open.
Yeah, thanks, Olix. I'm going to...
And now, the other day, Joe Biden came up with a plan to impose a blanket shutdown. He'd be willing to do another blanket, and we had to do it.
Came up with a plan. We just saw that, by the way. If the scientists say you need to shut the country down, do you shut the country down? Well, yeah, they're scientists.
We shut down. We saved millions of lives. Instead of the number we have today, 100.
Yeah, I know. What does Trump care? He's not watching football anyway.
75,000. We could have had 2 million today instead. It would have been unacceptable, unsustainable.
Wait, what? Peach time. Why will millions of people die from starvation as a result of the shutdown? We just had a 2-month shutdown. What's the starvation? We have food banks and stuff, right? And how would you go about fixing a problem if people didn't have money for food? What could the government do in order to help people get money? You know what? There's nothing. Nothing the government can do. Oh well. Moving on.
We did everything right. We did it right. We closed it down. We stopped China. We stopped Europe.
Starvation.
Now we're opening it up, and we're opening it up.
Peaches, Patrick, there's people in this chat room who work at the food banks that give out to the food to the kids that aren't in school, etc. So you're talking to the wrong group here. No, the government can't print food. But, Peach time, stay with me here. You can't eat paper, but you can take something that's printed and exchange it for what? For food. So, what sort of organization prints such a paper? It's not paper, it's cloth, but let's just stay with the simple analogies here. I don't know that we're dealing with Einstein. How could the government, this is food, you have to pay money for food. How could the government do something for the people that have no money to get the food? What could they do? What could they do? Now, where does money come from? Well, the government prints it or borrows it. There's a couple of different ways the government can do it. They can decrease the value of the currency. It's a number of different ways they can do it. What could the government do? Oh, the government won't solve your problems. I see. So the government should just let people starve if they run out of money. Is that what we should do as a government? Well, Peach time, you're a horrible person. I mean, just a callous, terrible human being for saying that people should be allowed to starve. I completely disagree with that, as do many other people in the chat room. So we are going to report you for saying that people should die if they have more money. There we go. Unwanted, let's see. Hate speech, that's what that was. And report. Okay. And Peach time has been reported. Let's move on.
To record numbers, despite the fact that the Democrats are keeping their states shut down and hurting people that live in those states shut down as long as possible. But now Biden wants to do another blanket shutdown, possibly, that would decimate the economy and cause suicides, drug overdoses, alcohol abuse, heart attacks, joblessness. You'd have jobs, all of the problems that it causes, because it's not just a one-sided equation. A shutdown causes big problems.
No equation is one-sided.
Also, and at this point, when the economy is roaring back, we had record job numbers this last quarter, over 9 million jobs. We're going to throw that all out? We have
After losing 25 million.
a market, you know, your stock market. Who has 401ks here? Your 401ks and your stocks, when you have stocks, would be obliterated. And right now, we have
Under Biden, stocks went up 300%.
just on two of your markets, as you know, S&P and NASDAQ, you're at new records, and you're about to hit another new record.
Yeah, I'm so bored of Trump. I really am. It's the same nonsense over and over again. But Ruth Ann has a good point there. Yeah, if we did shut down the country, really shut it down, we never shut it down, keep in mind. We never shut the country down. We did like a 50-50 shutdown, as Dr. Fauci calls it. If we did shut it down for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, a couple of weeks too, and it really kept human contact to a minimum, yeah, we could get this thing nailed to the ground. We could open the schools. We could have baseball. We could have football. We could have whatever. Because then we wouldn't have a backlog of tests. All we have to do is crush the virus under our heel. We never did it. We kept giving the virus more fuel. That's all we did. We opened up way too soon. What would mean, Rich?
Think of it. Who would have thought the stock market And hopefully we're at the end of this horrible China virus.
We are
Came
not.
from China. They should have stopped it, and they did. But who would have thought, just who would have thought, that the stock market is at record levels right now? Record levels. And everything else is going to follow. Before the virus, we created an economic miracle, and now we're doing it again. We did the Paycheck Protection Program, where we saved more than 200,000 jobs in New Hampshire alone. 200,000, right? Over the past 3 months, we've gained so many different, if you look at retail numbers, take a look at our retail numbers. They're literally at records. Look at some of the numbers being announced by companies. They're at records. Can you imagine giving that all up and starting again? It's not acceptable. If I'm reelected, we will create 10 million jobs over the next 10 months, and we'll do that easily. The Biden agenda, with big tax increases and big regulation increases, would immediately kill everything. You will go into a depression, and I'm very good at predicting
We're
this.
in a depression.
You will go into a depression, the likes of which this country has not seen since
He's absolutely terrible
1929,
at
and who
predicting
knows,
these things.
maybe worse than that. They are playing
He thought he would get to 6 or greater GDP growth. He got to 2.8.
a suicide mission if they want to raise your taxes. They want to raise your taxes by $4 trillion. And that's going to be almost everybody's.
Me personally?
They're saying for the rich, no, $4 trillion. And that's going to be almost everybody's. They're saying for the rich, no, not for the rich. They're going to be raising everybody's taxes almost. Joe Biden is running on the most extreme far-left platform of any nominee in American history. And if our foreign
Really? Ralph Nader?
adversaries were devising a plan to destroy the United States from within, all they have to look is at the Biden-Harris. How about her? Is she a beauty? What a beauty that is.
She is kind of beautiful, actually.
They pick a woman who starts off. She starts off sort of strong. She's one of the favorites. Within a period of a few months, she goes down, down. 15, 12, 11, 9, 8, 5, 3, 2. Then she goes, I'm going to leave because I've decided that I want to leave. I want to leave. She left because she wouldn't have gotten any votes. She was terrible. And this would be your president?
She ran out of money. She was $3 million in debt. It was actually really smart of her to get out.
Possibly? I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, I want to see the first woman president also, but I don't want to see a woman president get into that position the way she do it, and she's not competent. She's not competent.
I also don't want to see her become president by Joe Biden dying. So I'm kind of with Trump on this.
They're all saying, we want Ivanka.
If Ivanka does become president at some point, yeah, I am moving back to Canada. I can't.
I don't
Although she did create 15 million new jobs when only 7 million jobs were created. So that kind of math you can't argue with.
blame you. They want to eliminate America's borders in the middle of a pandemic, suspend all deportations, restore catch and release, and expand horrible, dangerous, disgusting sanctuary cities. They want to give illegal aliens government health care and taxpayer-funded lawyers. That's what we need is more lawyers. Let's get some.
You know,
Let's get
the
some more
Constitution.
lawyers into the act. They want to end national security travel bans from jihadist nations, very dangerous, and increase
They're not jihadist nations. They're nations. But okay.
refugee admissions.
Like Chad.
by 700%.
Venezuela is not a jihadist nation.
This is in the Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie. You know Crazy Bernie? And a lot of his people are going to vote for me just like they did last time. You know why? Because of trade. Because I agree with Bernie Sanders, but my trade policies are much tougher than his, and I'm able to do it. All you have to do is, how was China doing last year with my trade policy? Not too well.
I know. They had 6.1% growth. What about us? 2.1? A manufacturing contraction? That.
The best year we've ever had. So
We did not have the best year we ever. We were nowhere close to the best year we've ever had.
we're going to get a lot of Bernie Sanders voters because they like my attitude on trade. They really like it. Because I've been telling people for years, our country is being ripped off by China and many other countries, including, I hate to say it, our allies. Our allies have been ripping us big.
Well, that's better than our so-called allies, so he's making progress there.
And you heard me say last night, NATO. I got $130 billion from them. First time going up to $400 billion a year from NATO countries by saying, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Yeah, and I after I said it last night, I fact-checked myself as well. Yeah, 2015, 2016, NATO increased contributions from all the other countries. It's based on 2% of your GDP. So as the recession went away, the other countries then contributed more to NATO. So, and it's not a bill. It's sort of that would be nice if you could come up with that kind of money. So as Europe recovered from the economic recession, their contribution to NATO went up. It had nothing to do with Trump.
And General Secretary Stoltenberg said it can't be done. He could not believe it.
He didn't say that because it was already happening before Trump even announced.
He's actually my biggest fan, and nobody ever calls him for a quote. Call him sometime. They want to abolish
I think I'll do that.
cash bail and cut funding for law enforcement. They want to end.
Be good, Dr. L.
We want to increase law enforcement, not cut law enforcement.
Biden wants to increase funding for law enforcement.
And by the way,
No, what's going on with Shinzo?
Pat Lynch, a great guy, New York, really great, New York's finest, right? They've been, their rights have been taken away from them, literally. They're not allowed to do their job, but Pat Lynch, he said, the first time in history that they know of, New York's finest have endorsed a candidate. The candidate is Donald Trump.
I don't think that's true. Has the New York Police Department endorsed Donald Trump?
First time they've done it.
Oh, Shinzo resigned? Oh, that's too bad, because he's actually Trump really likes Shinzo. But no, he hasn't said anything about it.
And all over the country, the sheriffs of Florida, all of Texas, all over the country, Ohio, law enforcement's endorsing Trump. I cannot imagine them getting any law enforcement endorsements. If they do, please let me know and we'll have a little discussion. We'll ask, why did that happen?
No, they did.
They want to end school children.
They did endorse Trump. I thought it was just the Benevolent Association, but the actual New York Police Union. Wait, is it the Benevolent Association or is it just the police union? No. That's the Benevolent Association, not the actual police association. It was the Benevolent Association. Two different things. So yeah.
Choice and ban charter schools.
Like Trump is going to understand that. But the guy you saw last night who looks like a little bit like discount Henry Winkler, that's the guy he's talking about.
They want to abolish American energy, including all of the things I said before, and add to that coal and add to that shale. A vote for Republicans is a vote for safe communities.
I should try and call Stoltenberg, see if I can get through to him.
Communities, great jobs, a bright future, the American dream for all Americans. And there is no limit to what we can achieve with 4 more years. So in conclusion, I have to say this. Over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world. That's happening already. And we will end our reliance on China once and for all. We'll do it here, like we used to do in the good old days before we owed trillions of dollars. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, surge federal prosecutors into high-crime communities and neighborhoods, and ban sanctuary cities.
Sorry, I muted myself because I was chewing, and I know some people hate that. Takeda asked, did any Canadians get the stimulus check? Non-Americans, but maybe residents or former residents? I don't know, because I'm both. So, but I didn't get a check from Canada. I got no communication. But I don't even know if they know where I am. I'm not even sure where I am. Sort of in this void.
We will kill our terrorist enemies as we've been doing while keeping America out of the endless foreign wars. I go to Dover and I greet these incredible families.
Yeah, remember, no governments have been shoving jobs offshore. That's corporations. Their job is to make it, they have a fiduciary responsibility to turn a profit for their shareholders. And how do you turn a profit? By lowering some costs. And how do you lower those costs? By having very cheap labor done overseas. It's not like Joe Biden has ever said, you know what? I need you guys to stop working in this factory. I need this factory moved to China. Never happened that way. And it's not even China's now losing jobs to other markets in Asia.
Soldiers that have been so sadly killed. It's such a
Okay, let's talk, Takeda.
game. I go to the hospital. I go to Walter Reed Medical Center. It's incredible. The doctors are so talented. I see what they can do. But soldiers so badly hurt. And they're really acting as police. They're acting as police. Now, we're very low in Afghanistan now in terms of numbers of troops.
We're not. We're still at the same level as we were, actually above what Obama was. Maybe that changed this week. I don't know. But as of last week, we still had more men in there. I think 5,700, somewhere in that territory. More men. Because remember, at the very beginning, Trump decided, oh yeah, I said I was going to get out of it, but I'm going with my gut. No, what did he say? Typically, I go with my gut. He admitted that his decisions were made with his gut. Because during the campaign, that was a big thing. Are you saying that your international decisions, your diplomacy, etc., is going to be made with your gut? Oh, no. I take the advice and blah, 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 blah. And so everyone thought he was going to pull out of Afghanistan. I didn't. But he did listen to his generals when the general said, no, we need some more people here. And he sent more of our soldiers over into Afghanistan.
We're getting out. We'll be getting out soon. We're very low in Iraq. We're very low in Syria, except we kept the oil. We left some behind for the oil, if you don't mind. We kept the oil. We should have kept the oil in Iraq, like I've been saying.
It's a war crime.
We'll appoint prosecutors, judges, and justices who believe in enforcing the law, not their own.
Yeah, he said he was concluding, but he's got like 10 more minutes left here. I hate people that say goodbye forever.
Own political agenda, which is what we have in many cases right now. And the next president will be, in my opinion, responsible for 2, 3, 4, and maybe even five
Supreme Court justices.
U.S. Supreme Court justices.
Maybe 9 if they all get killed. We don't know.
You better vote for me.
Or
You
what?
better vote for me or you're going to have the greatest depression you've ever seen. We will oppose.
Remember, Biden was vice president for 8 years, and we recovered from a recession. He was in charge of the economic recovery. The stock market tripled. Unemployment went down to 4.7% from over 10%. Hey, guess where we are now? We're over 10%. Kind of neat, huh? So Biden brought it down from above 10% to under 5%. And now, with Trump, it's back up again. That's wacky. Anyway, reality, right?
Religious liberty, free speech, and the right to keep and bear
Bear
arms.
arms.
We will end surprise medical building.
Building.
Wire. It's already done. I signed.
Hold on. Surprise medical building. Is that what he said? 10-11. Here we go.
it. No end surprise medical building.
Yeah.
Require. It's already done. I signed it. Nobody can believe I did it. Price transparency. You know what that is? You know how big that is? Where you're able to actually negotiate with hospitals, see their prices, compare it. You know who likes it? Good.
Nobody. No one does that. You go to the hospital near you. Where was that? Sorry, I didn't mean to click that. 10-11, I think, something like that. Here we go.
Good hospitals and good doctors. Other people don't like it. It's the biggest thing, and nobody even talks about it. But I've already put it into effect. The bad news is it goes into effect on January 1st. You better make sure you elect me so I get credit for it.
That's important. So there's a lot of bad doctors and bad hospitals? Is that what Trump thinks? Do they charge too little? Do they charge too much? What does he think he's going to accomplish with this?
Otherwise, could you imagine if Sleepy Joe got in and
Yeah.
medical prices and drug prices and everything are dropping? And he said, I wonder what happened. What happened? And I did it all. I'll be so angry at New Hampshire, I'll never speak to you again.
I mean, as long as they cover burn victims, because the country's going to be on fire, right?
Now, all these things, what we're doing with drugs, you know, we instituted a favored nations clause. We instituted favored nations. That's going to drop your prices 50, 60, 70%. And I'm the only president, 51 years, last year drug prices went down a little, not much.
1%. And then they went back up again last year in 2019. And so far this year, it looks like they're going up as well. So even in a pandemic.
They went down first time in 51 years. Favored nations could drop
Not very much. 1%.
up at 50, 60, or 70%. And on top of that, I instituted rebates, where the rebates go toward price reductions and back to the customer, instead of to a middleman. So, we
The middleman who's... anyway.
will protect Medicare, and we will protect Social Security, and we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions.
Oh, Marcy, it really looks like Hawaii's trying. I mean, they're really pulling out all the stops. In fact, we had hoped to be in Hawaii at some point. Kevin Lee's son wants to move to Hawaii. And there's that whole 2-week quarantine, which it doesn't look as like... it was going to be dropped August 31st. Marcy, do you know have they announced that it's continuing beyond August 31st? Because he can work from anywhere. He does computer stuff. So he's like, might as well move to Hawaii for a while. Paramus, what up, Maul?
America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to plant its beautiful American flag. Do we love our American flag? On Mars. Above all, we will teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and be inspired by the words of the New Hampshire state motto. Have you ever heard of these words? Live free or die! Live
Don't see any masks. Again, I'm behind. What up, Ferals? There he is. Wait, no, I can't even do it. He does it so well. Let's go back. Fans of the broadcast, this is President Trump. Huh? Well, he does to the crowd up here. Watch this. This is somebody taller than him. Huh? Yeah!
Vote for those people. And you do. You have a great governor. Vote for your people. Vote for your governor. You have a great governor. From Portsmouth to Dixville.
Gonna get the right Concord?
To Keene. I know a friend from Keene.
You want to talk about Concord again?
Great guy.
Remember, he had the wrong Concord last time. I think he was in New Hampshire.
I had a friend from Keene a long time. Keene, New Hampshire. And Merrimack to Manchester. We will fight for every job, every family, and every neighborhood. And we will fight for every vote. We have to win. We have no choice. Can I be honest with you? Look, we're working hard. We're all working. I don't have to do this. I could get off that beautiful plane. It used to be black and white with a red stripe. That was mine. But that's Air Force One, you know? I get off that beautiful plane. I could come up and say, ladies and gentlemen of New Hampshire, you have no choice. You have to vote for me. Because if you don't, you'll be put in radical lefties. You'll have a depression. Your stocks will be worthless. Your 401ks will be gone. There'll be crime all over your streets. So I'm not going to work at all. I'm leaving now, but you have to vote for me because you have no choice, right? I could say. Right?
Yeah,
right?
threaten him. What the hell?
We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans, blazed the trails, settled the continent,
Pioneered
tamed the
sinus.
wilderness, laid down the railroads,
Pioneered
won
sinus.
2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made
Fascism.
America the greatest nation in the history of the world, and we are making it greater. We will be greater than ever before.
Okay, wait. Are we great again? Or are we making it great again? Or greater than again?
Incredible citizens like you, the people of New Hampshire, help build this country. And together...
Yeah. Hold on. Here's something from CNN. See what happened when Trump crowd was asked to wear masks. Well, we got to check this out. See what happens when the crowd is asked to wear masks. It's from CNN. Okay, and here it is. From the CNN. I think we're going to have to watch an ad first. Come on. This is, first off, it's silent. Why? Secondly, this is what we see in the shadows, or what we do in the shadows. I don't know why we're seeing a silent ad for this, but cool. It's a great show. If you don't watch What We Do in the Shadows, check this out. He's a vampire. Oh, there's... Okay. Okay, they're showing that to me because they want me to vote for them for the Emmys. And why do I not have video for this? Hold on. Do I have CNN on silent? I probably do because they autoplay. Unmute site. Here we go. Okay, go back here. Somehow Google knows... Like, I don't think I can vote for the Emmy Awards. But I am in SAG-AFTRA, which I don't even think they vote for the Emmy. I don't even know. But they know these things, so I get a lot of the four-year considerations. Maybe it's just because I'm on in LA. There's a lot of ads for-year consideration around here. Here we go. Okay, so Anderson Cooper. That's Wolf, not Anderson. And Jim Sciutto looks like.
In New Hampshire in a little while. You're learning more about a little dust-up that's going on. What are you learning?
That's right. Well, President Trump, as you said, is on his way to a campaign speech in New Hampshire right now as he's hoping to have some momentum coming out of this convention that they had here in Washington. Just a short while ago, moments before his speech was about to begin, event organizers asked people in the crowd to put on a mask, and get this, people in the crowd started booing. We have some video of that. Let's take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, in accordance with New Hampshire Executive Order 63, please wear your masks.
If you can't hear, they're booing. I have not had In-N-Out in a while, Rich, and now I'm craving it. Thanks a lot. Okay, let's shut that down. Let's finish up Trump here.
We are taking back our country.
Uh-huh.
We are not going to let the radical left socialists, or communists take our country. We're not going to let it. We're returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one nation under God.
Yeah. By the way, it's a Republican governor in New Hampshire, Sununu. And they're booing their Republican governor. But again, Trump fans, they have no idea. They have no idea what's going on in the political world. They only listen to him. It's fascinating, really. Wawa. Well, you just need to go out and get some ice cream, producer Joanna.
And we don't take the beautiful word God out of our Pledge of Allegiance to him.
This is sign language for God.
We don't do it. They did it twice. They did it twice. Then they say, well, we didn't mean that. Oh, I see. I was listening once. They said, that's straight. You don't know what it is. What happened? What happened?
All 4 nights at the DNC, the words "in God" were in the Pledge of Allegiance.
But they did it on purpose. They did it twice. That's where they're coming from. You can be fools, and you can be
Trump was not watching the caucus meetings. Not a bit.
fooled. But that's where they're coming from. So don't be surprised. But they're not going to get there. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let our country be destroyed by a bunch of nut jobs.
I hope they do. I hope Trump loses by 30 points. It's not going to happen, but he'll get 40%. But yeah, this whole 180,000 people dead, those old folks are not going to be happy. They're the ones staying in right now. And the last couple of nights, he's had crowds of people. There's old people all across this country, and really, they decide the elections. And they're watching that last night going like, what the, I can't, I have to go to the grocery store at 7 a.m. They're actually not upset about that because they've been awake for 3 hours at that point. But come on, people, wear a mask.
America will soon be thriving like never before.
Okay, so now the chat isn't working again. So hold on. I'll fix it again. Guys, as soon as I fix it, it starts right back in. It doesn't make any sense to me either.
And together with the people of New Hampshire that have meant so much to me, and I brought down...
John says Trump is better than Biden. At lying? Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm with you.
Opioid, and I brought down drug problems for you by 19%, and nobody even talks about it. 19. I talk about New Hampshire a lot because you had one of the proportionally worst problems of any country, of any
state. It's a state, not a country.
State.
Yeah.
In this incredible country, you had one of the worst problems of any of the states, and I talk about you a lot. It was incredible, and you still have. But we brought it down 19%, and people are absolutely shocked. And if it weren't for the China plague, the number would be 25 or 30%.
Okay, but there was the China plague. That's what we live in right now.
That really hurt us because people sort of went back to some old ways because they don't want to be shut down any longer, Joe. Don't you understand?
He's still talking. I
understand that. They don't want
almost
to be shut
done.
down. So I worked very hard on that.
About 2
For
minutes.
this state and for other states.
I want to double animal style.
Severely
No pickles.
Impacted with the drug problem. And that wall is stopping them, and it's stopping them like never before. It's stopping them like never before. I want to thank New Hampshire for all you've done for me. I want to thank New Hampshire. You were my first victory, as I said, but you are going to lead a nation to the most important victory and the most important election that we've ever had. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America...
Yeah, producer Joanna, I don't think you can paste a screenshot in here. That's not how chat works.
strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
Great again. Gotta watch that again.
Great again. And we will make America great
again. 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 Da 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 da. All right, kids, that's it. That was over 2 hours of that nonsense. I know we got sidetracked there a little bit, and I'm hungry now that everybody's talking about cheeseburgers, and there are like 3 In-N-Outs within 10 minutes of me, so I'm in a precarious spot right here. And not eating for the past 2.5, 3 days. I've actually lost some weight, so I feel like I should put some calories back on. So I should probably head to In-N-Out. Which I won't. I'm trying to be good. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you want to support the broadcast, we do this on almost daily basis, and we'll keep doing it until the election, and then hopefully we won't have to do it ever again, because there won't be a live stream. Trump will just be gone. If you'd like to support it, go to kevinleefather.com. kevinleefather.com. You can become a patron there. Get your name in the credits when I eventually get around to putting them in the credits. I'm supposed to drive Kevin Lee daughter somewhere too, so she just said, will you be done soon? That was 10 minutes ago. Life gets shorter if I eat that burger, babe. That's the problem. And I have a hot dog. I have like sausages. I have garlic and... Was it garlic and Gouda? Apple and garlic sausages. I have hot dog buns. Here's the problem. When you buy hot dog buns, they come 8 in... No, seriously though, I have hot dog buns, and so I was at the store and I was like, I gotta buy some sort of hot dog-ish type of wiener to put into the... I don't want to waste the hot dog buns. They're like 3 weeks old, Dad. I don't know who that is. I just invented a kid for the store. I know, but I gotta buy... And then we'll do Kevin Lee daughter. She's like, but you're not vegan. You're not vegan. I'm like, yeah, but it's not like I'm killing the animal now. I do have some vegan hot dogs. I could use those, but apple and garlic. Hey, thanks, Sean. I don't know why that's blocked. What? Oh, you said shitty. So here, I'll unblock it for you. There you go. Joanna G says that David Sedaris quote about if you can't decide between that's right. So the David Sedaris quote, if you can't decide yet between Biden and Trump, it's like the airline flight attendant is asking you to choose between the chicken or the platter of shit with broken glass. And you ask, well, how is the chicken cooked? Now I'm hungry for chicken. Damn it. Producer Joanna. Anyway, it's been great. Come back again. Bring a friend. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. He's probably going to be off somewhere tomorrow. Maybe we'll watch it. Maybe we won't. I don't know. I got stuff to do too. So bring a friend. Maybe you. You want to go get burgers? Hero and I used to go get burgers. Mr. Takeda there. I've given your identity away now. No one knows where you are. I don't even know where you are. But wherever you are, you don't have In-N-Out. AM, PM burgers. Oh, God. Yeah, that's my college roommate. Yeah, there were some AM, PM burgers. When you go to AM, PM, you get your 3 for 99-cent burgers. I think everybody knows what AM, PM is. But you get your 3 for 99-cent burgers back in the day, and you would pile on those condiments because you were getting your money's worth. 3 for 99 cents wasn't a good enough value by itself. And then they went to 2 for 99 cents, and we're like, fuck that noise. Goddamn highway robbery. That's what that is. Yeah, now I'm actually, I can taste the AM, PM cheeseburgers. I honestly haven't been able to get rid of that taste for the last 30 years. It's the back of my throat. Anyway, kids, it's been fun. Mr. Takeda, I hate you for that right now. I'm going to go find some, I was going to say New Yorker because I'm going to go find a New Yorker. So be good, kids. I think I'm supposed to ride my bike tonight, too. Oh, and I have to take Kevin Lee daughter. So anyway, I got to go. Be good to each other. Don't catch the virus. Bye. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Hold on. I don't know what's going on there. Let me get rid of this. Just the credits, please. No. There we go. I'm going to start it again so that you guys get your full credit. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on right now. What is happening? What is going on? Here, okay. Just the credits, all by themselves. Here we go. Roll the credits.
Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?